Imagine for a moment a future that's really unlike anything we've ever experienced. A future not, constrained by scarcity, but actually overflowing with possibility, like unprecedented possibility.
Hmm.
An age of abundance. So impactful, so transformative, that some ancient scriptures, apparently thousands of years ago, actually prophesied its arrival. It's a really powerful thought, isn't it?
It really is.
What if we are truly standing like right on the edge of such an age right now? What if all those, visions of a better, more prosperous world aren't just distant dreams? What if they're becoming tangibly possible, propelled forward super rapidly by all these converging technologies?
It's definitely more than just a powerful thought. I think it's a palpable shift we're seeing. The sheer scale of what's emerging, the acceleration, it's fundamentally unprecedented in human history. We're not just talking about progress in the old sense. We're talking about real paradigm shifts.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're embarking on a deep dive into this really exciting, almost monumental question. What truly happens when the world's most powerful technologies, and I'm talking the big ones like AI, blockchain, quantum computing, advanced manufacturing, and a whole bunch of others, what happens when they aren't just advancing in their own separate lanes, in isolation?
Right.
What happens when they start to collide and combine and co-evolve in ways that can basically reshape civilization itself, like from the ground up?
Yeah.
Our sources are suggesting we're looking at a future where thinking big, and I mean really big, isn't just some hopeful ideal anymore. It's becoming the most practical, the most necessary, and maybe even the safest strategy for tackling humanity's biggest, most complex challenges.
That's a critical distinction, I think. This isn't just about, incremental improvements like slightly faster computers or maybe better apps. This is about fundamental systemic shifts that literally change what we think is possible.
Yeah.
The very nature of building things, of innovating, it's changed.
Totally. So to help us navigate this extraordinary landscape, our mission today is to really unpack insights from several truly thought-provoking sources that lay out this compelling vision of a technologically abundant future. We'll be drawing a lot from 10 trends in climate tech, AI-era social network, the Facebook killer that looks nothing like Facebook, government tech,
Right.
the next great leap in nation building, and also the kind of overarching framework from why thinking big is the safest bet in the age of AI and exponential technologies. These sources, when you look at them together, they don't just offer like isolated observations. They seem to provide a pretty comprehensive roadmap to understanding this technological convergence and the profound societal transformation it seems to promise.
Right. And our goal for you today, our listener, is really to go beyond just summarizing. We want to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge from these sources, really connect the dots between fields that might seem totally separate, and leave you with a richer, more integrated understanding of the profound shifts underway. We want to spark those aha moments about the future of society, governance, our planet, making sure you feel genuinely informed and inspired, not just overwhelmed by all the information flying around.
Exactly. No overwhelm, just clarity and maybe a bit of excitement. Okay, so let's unpack this core idea that seems to underpin everything else, this dawning of an exponential era. Our sources fundamentally argue that we are entering a new phase where bigger ambition isn't just possible, it's necessary. And this isn't just like a catchy slogan or some aspirational thought. It seems rooted in a profound, almost tectonic shift in the very nature of technology itself. For decades, we've rightly seen the internet as maybe the most transformative force, right? Connecting the world, democratizing information, fueling global commerce. But now AI has emerged, and our sources describe it as something far more powerful. So what makes AI so different?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is how AI is characterized. It's not just another tool. It's framed as a multiplier of intelligence, productivity, and imagination. Think of it like an accelerator pedal for pretty much everything else.
Right.
The internet gave us amazing access to information. It democratized access. But AI helps us process that information, create with it, reason with it, even discover totally new knowledge, all at a completely different scale and speed. And this fundamentally changes the barriers to building. You know? It shifts the very foundation of innovation.
It really does. And this idea from the sources that AI makes coding English is honestly kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And with generative AI moving so fast, it's becoming almost like English at the speed of thought. For you, the listener, this means a massive change in who can build stuff and what can actually be built.
Mm.
Traditionally, right, if you wanted to create complex software or a groundbreaking app or even some sophisticated analytical tool, you needed specialized coding skills. That was a huge barrier to entry for a lot of brilliant people.
Absolutely.
Now, if you can clearly articulate an idea in plain language, just like we're talking now, AI can help translate that intention into functional code or complex designs or even scientific models. It's not just about faster development. It's about radically democratizing the ability to create, to innovate, to build. It sort of collapses those technical barriers that used to stand in the way of turning a big vision, even a civilizational scale one, into something real.
Which brings up a really important question then. If that barrier to actually building stuff has collapsed, what's the new bottleneck for innovators?
Good question.
It fundamentally shifts the core question for any aspiring builder or startup, doesn't it? It's no longer just about, can we technically build this? Because AI makes so much more feasible. Instead, the question becomes, is this big enough to actually matter?
Right.
And that change in focus, driven by AI's crazy capabilities, really underlines this need for not just ambition, but bigger ambition. The tools are just so powerful now, it almost feels like a waste to apply them to tiny problems.
And it's not just AI doing its thing in isolation. Our sources highlight what they call pretty vividly a technological supercollision. AI is definitely leading the charge,
Yeah.
acting as this profound catalyst, but it's far from alone.
Exactly.
We're seeing the simultaneous rise of like 10 or more foundational technologies, each described as being potentially as groundbreaking as the internet once was in its own right. And they're all hitting their inflection points basically at the same time.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting, where this idea of exponential synergies really kicks in.
Yeah, if you connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
it means we're not looking at just one wave of innovation. It's like multiple massive waves all converging and amplifying each other. Think about some of these.
Right.
We got quantum computing,
Right.
which promises to just revolutionize complex problem solving, breaking through computational barriers we thought were impossible.
Okay.
Then there's robotics, extending our physical capabilities, automating intricate processes from manufacturing all the way to healthcare. Synthetic biology lets us engineer life itself, opening doors to new medicines, new materials, sustainable food sources. It's huge.
Wow.
Advanced energy storage, absolutely critical for building truly renewable energy grids that can store power for days, not just, a few hours.
Crucial.
Blockchain, building new layers of trust and transparency into digital systems, everything from finance to identity verification. Brain-computer interfaces, bridging thought and digital action, hinting at totally new ways for humans and computers to interact.
Wild.
Space tech, expanding humanity's frontier, making access to orbit and beyond way cheaper and more frequent.
Yeah, like SpaceX.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And augmented and virtual reality, AR/VR, reshaping how we perceive and interact with digital information in each other, kind of blurring the lines between the physical and the virtual worlds.
It's an incredible list, almost overwhelming when you hear it all together. And each one of these fields is moving at this astonishing, often exponential pace. Our sources really emphasize that the implications of this convergence are immense. They say the combinations, permutations, and crossovers will be unpredictable, unstoppable, and deeply transformative.
Right.
This isn't just about individual breakthroughs anymore. The future, they argue, is going to be shaped by these exponential synergies. It's about how AI can dramatically speed up discoveries in synthetic biology, or how blockchain can secure the complex data from AI-driven climate solutions, or maybe how quantum computing unlocks totally new material science for energy storage. The combination creates something way bigger, way more revolutionary than just the sum of its parts. It's like discovering new elements by fusing existing ones, not just mixing them in a bowl.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And for you, the listener, this really means adapting to a world where innovation isn't linear, it's explosive. It fundamentally shifts your perspective on what's truly possible. The most impactful changes probably won't come from just optimizing existing systems or making small tweaks.
Right.
They'll come from entirely new paradigms born from these unexpected synergistic collisions. It signals a profound need for interdisciplinary thinking and a real willingness to explore how technologies that seem unrelated can combine in powerful ways to solve genuinely massive challenges. It's about recognizing that the biggest problems are now, maybe, the ripest opportunities.
And that's precisely why this shift in startup ambition is so crucial. The old question for entrepreneurs was, can we build this? technically feasible. Now, in this exponential age where those barriers to building have basically collapsed thanks to AI, the real question, the one defining truly impactful ventures is this big enough to matter? Our sources give some really fantastic examples of companies that are absolutely embracing this think big ethos. They're tackling challenges that aren't just market opportunities, but what the sources explicitly call civilizational scale challenges.
Yeah, let's run through a few of those because these companies aren't just, building apps or making small improvements. They're essentially conducting what the source calls societal experiments, backed by serious capital, and leveraging these exponential techs to aim for truly transformational change.
Okay, first up, you mentioned OpenAI. Their challenge is fundamental, addressing human productivity, democratizing education, universalizing knowledge access. Their solution, it's audacious, creating general-purpose AI systems like GPT that act as universal assistants, basically augmenting human capability across almost every domain. We're
Yeah.
talking AI transforming work, learning, creativity, globally.
Huge. Then there's SpaceX. Monumental challenge. Enabling multi-planetary survival for humanity and providing truly global low Earth orbit connectivity. They're making space travel orders of magnitude cheaper and more frequent, and through Starlink, they're bringing affordable, high-speed internet to underserved areas all over the planet, fundamentally changing communication infrastructure.
Yeah, incredible. And tackling climate change head on, Carbon Capture Inc., they're developing scalable direct air capture systems. Their goal is literally to pull carbon dioxide directly out of the atmosphere at industrial scale and lock it away permanently. That's thinking really big about a global problem hitting every single person.
Absolutely. For drug discovery, you've got Recursion. They're using AI and automation to drastically speed up how we find new medicines. By combining massive biological and chemical data sets with advanced machine learning, they're smashing through traditional bottlenecks in a process that usually takes, over a decade and billions of dollars.
Yeah, easily.
So they're promising to accelerate cures for countless diseases.
Then on the defense side, Endural Industries is enhancing national defense and security for this age of autonomous warfare. They're deploying AI-powered defense tech, autonomous surveillance towers, intelligent drones, next-gen battlefield systems. It's a complete reimagining of security infrastructure, moving from human-centric to AI-augmented defense.
Right. And then there's Rora, formerly YC Bio. They're tackling aging and life extension itself. Biotech companies in this space are directly targeting the fundamental biology of aging, with the, let's face it, incredibly ambitious aim of extending healthy human lifespan by decades. That would totally transform what it means to grow old.
Definitely transformational. Zipline is tackling equitable access to health and emergency services, especially in remote areas. They use autonomous drones to deliver vital medical supplies, blood, vaccines, critical medicines to remote and underserved communities. They started in Africa, now expanding globally. It's last-mile delivery, solving a crucial life-saving need on a massive scale.
It's super impactful. Inflection AI is redefining human-machine relationships. They're building empathetic AI companions like Pi, designed to be personal, supportive, helpful. These things could act as daily assistants, coaches, even conversational partners, really pushing the boundaries of emotional intelligence in AI.
Interesting. And Tome Biosciences is going right to the root of genetic diseases. They're developing precision gene editing tools that can rewrite DNA inside the body to cure inherited conditions at their source, offering truly transformative, maybe one-time treatments for diseases we previously thought were incurable.
Wow. Finally, WorldCoin. They're addressing global economic inclusion, especially thinking about an AI-disrupted future. They're using biometric identification, specifically iris scans combined with blockchain tech, to create a universal, verifiable financial identity.
Pretty controversial, too, that one.
Oh, definitely controversial. But the ambition is huge. It could potentially enable things like universal basic income and foster new forms of global economic participation, especially if AI automates a lot of jobs. It's a profound attempt to create a new economic backbone for the digital age, accessible to everyone.
What an incredible list, seriously. The common pattern across all these companies is just crystal clear. Their willingness to tackle the largest questions of our time. These aren't just businesses trying to grab market share. They are, like our sources say, societal experiments. They embody this fundamental belief that in an age of exponential tools where building stuff is getting cheaper and less complex, the most impactful work and maybe the safest bet, counterintuitively, is the work that genuinely moves the needle on humanity's biggest, most existential challenges. It really shows how thinking big isn't just aspirational anymore, it's profoundly practical.
Okay, so we've talked about this need for thinking big in the abstract, right? This idea that tech progress demands grander ambitions. But now let's shift to how this actually manifests in reshaping the very infrastructure of society. This is where that age of abundance really starts to take tangible form, impacting our daily lives, how we interact with governments, and fundamentally how we connect with each other.
Yeah, let's get concrete. And one of the most maybe surprising yet utterly transformative areas of this shift is what our sources call government tech or gov tech. For so long, government tech has just been seen as clunky, slow, or maybe just putting old paper forms online.
Right, digitizing bureaucracy, basically.
Exactly. But GovTech, as defined here, is something way more profound. It's the infrastructure layer that digitizes the very mechanics of governance, not just services, but state functions themselves. It's described as, essentially, the operating system of a modern nation, building a digital core for a country.
And what's truly fascinating here is the example of India's Aadhaar and UPI systems. Aadhaar is this biometric digital ID system, providing a unique, verifiable identity to over 1 billion people. It's massive.
Unbelievable scale.
And UPI is its unified payments interface, a real-time mobile payment system that just exploded. The source highlights that when these platforms get licensed to other countries, especially in the global south, it's not just exporting apps, it's literally exporting state capacity.
Wow, exporting state capacity. What does that mean exactly?
It means providing the fundamental digital building blocks for a modern, functional 21st century state. Things like universal digital identity for everyone, frictionless money movement that can bypass traditional, often corrupt or inaccessible banking systems, and verified, transparent citizen engagement for things like voting or getting subsidies directly.
That's a huge leap, almost unthinkable for many developing nations. The core equation presented is super simple but really powerful. Digital ID plus digital payments, digital government.
Simple but profound.
And the implications are vast. It's not just about efficiency, though that's obviously a plus. It's about building integrity, transparency, and inclusion right into the fabric of governance. Imagine a world where billions of people currently living in economies bogged down by corruption or suffocating paper bureaucracy or just cash-only systems suddenly get access to digital, transparent, verifiable systems.
So this raises the key question. How does this GovTech directly tackle those grand challenges we talked about? Our sources give several powerful examples of its impact. First, as anti-corruption tech.
Okay.
When identity, payments, public services are all digitized and put on a verifiable system, it effectively dries up the swamp where corruption breeds, as the source puts it.
Huh, nice phrasing.
Yeah. Funds for subsidies or welfare go straight to mobile wallets, bypassing those corrupt middlemen. Biometric identity gets rid of fake IDs, making it impossible to claim multiple benefits or hide who you really are. And things like on-chain voting verification, where every vote is cryptographically recorded, can prevent ballot stuffing and ensure election integrity. It's like a systemic attack on corruption baked right into the digital infrastructure.
That's incredible. And it seems to extend really powerfully to democracy tech, too. Imagine elections where voter turnout just soars, maybe beyond 90%, because voting is as simple and secure as tapping your authenticated phone.
Right.
No more lost ballots, no polling booth intimidation, no people being disenfranchised because registration is too complex or they can't get to a polling place. Just verified citizens exercising their verified power instantly from anywhere. That radically changes the accessibility, the integrity, the legitimacy of democratic processes, makes them truly representative.
And furthermore, GovTech functions as peace and prosperity tech. The impact just cascades across society. Cashless systems inherently reduce street crime, petty theft, because there's less physical cash floating around to steal.
Makes sense.
Digital identity curbs fraud across all sectors, from financial services to social benefits. Transparent budgets, made possible by digital accounting, build crucial public trust in government, something often lacking.
Definitely.
And fast, fair, efficient service delivery significantly reduces the kind of social unrest that often stems from frustration with bureaucracy and inequality. It's a holistic approach. It doesn't just streamline government, it genuinely stabilizes and uplifts entire societies, fostering trust and economic growth. For you, the listener, this could fundamentally transform your future interactions with government, moving from frustrating paperwork to seamless, transparent, genuinely fair digital services.
It's a compelling vision. And if that's what's happening with government, let's talk about how this thinking big idea is completely reimagining social connection. Our sources are incredibly clear on this core principle of disruption. The next big thing often looks nothing like the thing it replaces.
Right, the analogy track.
Exactly. They use powerful analogies. The public library wasn't replaced by a bigger library, but by Google, a totally new way to access info. The horse carriage didn't just get faster horses, it got replaced by the car, different mode of transport. Taxis didn't just get better dispatch, they became Uber, a decentralized network. Video rental didn't become digital blockbuster, it became Netflix on-demand streaming. And Wikipedia isn't just being replaced by Wikipedia 2.0, it's being augmented and in some ways challenged by things like ChatGPT, an intelligent conversational way to access knowledge.
What's really fascinating there is the underlying principle. When disruption happens, the successor often operates on a completely different layer. It addresses the fundamental human need, but in a radically new form, usually leveraging new tech breakthroughs.
Right.
So, following that logic, the Facebook killer won't be Facebook 2.0 or, another social feed with slightly better privacy settings.
God, I hope not.
Exactly. Instead, the sources suggest it will be a platform integrating truth, trust, and transformation right at its core, designed not just to connect us, but to actually elevate us as individuals and as a civilization.
That sounds almost philosophical, doesn't it? They're basically saying we now have the fundamental tech tools, advanced AI, robust blockchain, open data protocols, decentralized governance mechanisms to dream way bigger than just social as in updates and likes.
Yeah.
You're talking about social as in civilization, culture, learning, meaning, identity, commerce. It's a complete paradigm shift for what a social network could or should be, moving beyond just casual connection to actual societal empowerment.
Okay, let's break down some of these key transformative features they envision. Instead of just likes and fleeting engagement, this new platform might feature truth scoring, powered by decentralized AI models, effectively providing a verifiable, community-driven layer of information, quality, and reliability. Imagine that.
That would be revolutionary.
Wouldn't it?
Yep.
And instead of the current ad-driven model and the outrage economy it often fuels, it would offer algorithmic transparency and intent-aware curation, meaning you actually understand why content is shown to you, and it's aligned with your long-term goals and interests, not just maximizing eyeballs or screen time.
And this is huge. Instead of the whole surveillance capitalism model where our data is harvested and sold,
Right?
it envisions user-owned data and sovereign digital identity. Imagine truly owning and controlling your digital self, your data, your online reputation. That's a game changer.
Totally. And instead of endless, often soul-crushing doom scrolling,
Yeah.
we all are. The platform would feature purposeful learning paths, career tracks, and community challenges, transforming time spent online into genuinely productive, growth-oriented activity.
Okay, that's better.
Furthermore, instead of relying on a few centralized influencers, you'd have peer mentors, citizen educators, and AI co-pilots guiding you, leveraging collective intelligence and AI help for personalized growth. Instead of one-size-fits-all, algorithmically dictated feeds, you'd get personalized learning and civic dashboards tailored to your unique needs and contributions.
Wow.
And critically, instead of platform addiction designed purely to maximize time on site, the fundamental design would prioritize time well spent design metrics, focusing on genuine well-being, learning, and meaningful connection, not just engagement for engagement's sake.
So this isn't just one app or website. It's envisioned as more of a hybrid platform vision, right? Combining the best bits of established platforms, but supercharged and reimagined by exponential tech.
Exactly. It's like Khan Academy, but AI personalized to your individual learning style and truly global in reach. It's Wikipedia, but gamified to encourage contributions, meticulously verified by both community and AI, multilingual, multimodal, offering knowledge in every format. It's LinkedIn, but democratized and universally accessible to everyone, everywhere, whether you're a village girl in rural Uganda needing mentorship or a kid in Dhaka looking for remote work.
Okay.
And it deeply integrates that powerful digital backbone we saw in India, Aadhaar and UPI, but imagined as open source protocols, licensed and deployed specifically for the global south. Imagine GitHub meeting Reddit, a truly open space for community-curated knowledge, open contribution, transparent reputation layers that incentivize good behavior and verifiable expertise. This paints a picture of nothing less than a global trust engine, a foundational layer for humanity's next stage of digital interaction.
The examples our sources give are so vivid, so inspiring. They really illustrate the scale of this ambition, like farmers in Nigeria using AI co-ops to optimize crops and share practices. Students in Brazil getting real-time mentorship from global experts. Citizens in Kenya voting with secure blockchain receipts. Nepali youth co-authoring AI textbooks with GPT editors. Diaspora communities seamlessly sending remittances and knowledge back home.
Yeah, and the sources explicitly highlight this platform is built for the Global South, from the Global South,
Mhm.
letting them potentially skip past legacy banking and outdated paper-based education, and instead leapfrog straight into an AI-first society, just like many parts of the world skipped landlines and went straight to mobile phones,
Right,
right?
that makes sense.
So this raises an important point for analysis.
Mhm.
The core equation here is a global open identity layer plus mobile payments plus citizen-owned AI. And this isn't just equated with progress, it's explicitly called a civilizational leap. It's not just about deploying tech, but about creating fundamental infrastructure that can foster truth, trust, and transformation on a global scale, specifically empowering billions who've been historically left out of the digital economy. For you, the listener, imagine a social network where your online interactions, your learning are genuinely purposeful, contributing to your growth, and where your digital identity is truly yours and empowers your participation. How might that change how you engage with the world, your career, your community? It's a profound shift to consider.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about reimagining societal infrastructure, but let's move to tackling one of humanity's most pressing, truly existential grand challenges: climate change. The thinking big approach we've been discussing, powered by these exponential technologies, seems directly aimed at our planet's future too, aiming for an age of maybe environmental abundance and sustainability.
Exactly. Our sources emphasize that addressing climate change isn't simple. There's no single silver bullet. Instead, it requires a multifaceted approach involving technological innovation, robust policy support, and unprecedented cross-sector collaboration. It's like needing an entire arsenal of solutions, not just one weapon.
Makes sense. It's a complex problem.
Absolutely. And our source, 10 Trends in Climate Tech, gives us a kind of mid-2025 snapshot of the leading trends. It really shows how incredibly diverse technologies are being applied to this massive challenge. It illustrates the breadth and depth of ambition in this crucial space, showing that this idea of an age of abundance isn't just for human convenience, but very much for planetary health too.
Okay, so what's first on the list?
First up, AI-driven climate solutions. We're seeing AI used for everything from hyper-detailed biodiversity monitoring, tracking species and ecosystems with way more accuracy than before,
Oh.
to optimizing resource allocation in sustainable agriculture, to providing hyper-accurate, localized weather forecasting that can help with disaster preparedness and managing crops. Initiatives like the Bezos Earth Fund's AI for Climate and Nature Grand Challenge are specifically funding projects to apply AI to these critical areas. It's basically acting as a force multiplier for environmental data and decision-making.
So how does AI actually enhance these efforts? What problems does it solve that we couldn't before?
Well, AI profoundly enhances existing climate efforts by bringing just unprecedented analytical power to these really complex interconnected systems. It solves problems of scale and data processing that were just too much for human analysis alone.
Gotcha.
For example, in sustainable agriculture, AI-powered soil monitoring helps farmers apply really precise amounts of water, nutrients, pesticides only where and when needed. That reduces waste and environmental runoff while also significantly boosting yields. Or, in energy grids, AI can predict demand and optimize the flow of renewable energy, making the grid way more efficient and resilient. It's about finding efficiencies and insights that are basically invisible without machine intelligence.
Okay, makes sense. What's next?
Next, we have green steel and low-carbon manufacturing. This is a huge one, considering how incredibly carbon-intensive heavy industries like steel, cement, chemicals are right now.
Yeah, massive emitters.
Totally. So innovations like direct reduced iron, or DRI, are making big strides. Instead of using coal to reduce iron ore into pure iron, DRI processes use green hydrogen, that's hydrogen produced using renewable energy to do the same thing, dramatically cutting emissions.
Okay, green hydrogen. We'll probably come back to that.
Definitely. And similarly, electric arc furnaces, powered by clean electricity, are replacing traditional coal-fired blast furnaces. Companies like Electra and Boston Metal are pushing even further, developing electrolytic processes that promise even lower energy use and emissions in iron production by directly electro-refining iron from its ore. This is about decarbonizing the very building blocks of our modern world.
That's fundamental. Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is long-duration energy storage. This is absolutely critical for tackling the fundamental challenge of intermittency with renewables like solar and wind.
Right, the sun doesn't always shine.
And the wind doesn't always blow.
Yeah.
Exactly. So technologies like vanadium redox flow batteries and iron air batteries are being developed to provide stable, grid-scale energy storage for not just hours, but potentially days, weeks, or even months. This is unlike the relatively short-duration lithium-ion batteries in your phone or EV.
How do they work differently?
While these designs, like flow batteries, can scale up storage capacity simply by making the tanks holding the liquid electrolyte bigger. Or iron air batteries use superabundant cheap materials like iron and air. These technologies are essential enablers for a truly 100% renewable grid. They let us store surplus power generated when it's sunny or windy and release it reliably whenever needed, ensuring a consistent energy supply.
Crucial piece of the puzzle. Okay, fourth trend.
Fourth, we have burgeoning carbon removal and offsetting initiatives. So beyond just cutting emissions, companies are now actively investing in projects to remove CO2 that's already in the atmosphere.
Taking it out, not just stopping putting more in.
Precisely. Our sources highlight significant corporate investment in high-quality carbon offset projects, showing a real commitment to not just mitigate, but maybe even reverse past emissions. For instance, Microsoft made a huge commitment to buy 3.5 million carbon credits over 25 years to support big reforestation efforts in Brazil's Amazon and Atlantic forests. This complements those direct air capture efforts we mentioned earlier, showing a dual approach, removing carbon both technologically with machines and naturally through ecosystems.
Okay, interesting. What's fifth?
The fifth key trend is the circular economy and sustainable packaging. This focuses on fundamentally rethinking how we consume and produce things, aiming to reduce waste and promote recycling and reuse on a grand scale, moving away from that linear take, make, dispose model.
Right, reuse, reduce, recycle,
Right.
but maybe supercharged.
Kind of. Innovations include developing new sustainable packaging materials, thins plant-based polymers or recycled content, and also scaling up advanced recycling tech that can break down complex plastics into their original building blocks for true closed-loop recycling. These efforts are growing fast to meet ambitious corporate sustainability goals. And for you, the listener, this directly impacts your everyday choices as a consumer, pushing industries toward products and packaging designed for multiple lives and minimal environmental harm.
Definitely seeing more of that. Okay, sixth.
Sixth is climate-smart agriculture. This isn't just traditional organic farming, it's about evolving farming practices toward greater sustainability and resilience, using cutting-edge tech to feed a growing population with less environmental strain.
Like what kind of tech?
Examples include precision farming, using sensors, drones, AI to apply water, fertilizer, pesticides only where and when needed, dramatically cutting waste. Vertical agriculture allows for year-round, super-efficient food production in urban areas with minimal land and water. And AI-powered soil monitoring enhances yields while drastically reducing environmental impact. These techs are crucial for global food security and resource efficiency as the climate changes.
Makes sense. Seventh trend.
Seventh covers smart grids and grid-enhancing technologies, or GTs. Our current electrical grids are often pretty outdated and inefficient.
Tell me about it.
Right. So modernizing grids with smart tech improves energy distribution, resilience, efficiency. GTs are essentially advanced hardware and software for more dynamic, intelligent grid management. Think sophisticated sensors detecting outages instantly, automated controls rerouting power around problems, software balancing supply and demand in real time. GTs enable better, seamless integration of diverse renewables and significantly enhance the grid's ability to withstand extreme weather and even cyber threats. A truly smart grid looks like this highly interconnected, self-healing network that intelligently balances everything, routes power efficiently, and minimizes waste and blackouts.
Sounds good. Number 8.
Then we have the hydrogen economy expansion. Green hydrogen, specifically, is emerging as a critical component for decarbonizing sectors that are really hard to electrify directly, like heavy transport, ships, planes, long-haul trucks, and industrial processes like steelmaking and chemical production.
You mentioned green hydrogen earlier with steel.
Exactly. Green hydrogen is produced using renewable electricity to split water into hydrogen and oxygen zero carbon emissions in the process. We're seeing a rapid expansion of projects focusing on producing, storing, and using green hydrogen, backed by strong policy incentives and tech advances globally. It's about creating a versatile, clean energy carrier for the future, one that can store huge amounts of renewable energy and deploy it for high energy needs where batteries might not work.
Okay, versatile clean fuel. Ninth trend.
Ninth is climate risk analytics and insurance. As climate impacts become more frequent and severe, there's a growing need to quantify and manage these risks financially. This trend integrates sophisticated climate risk analytics into financial services, helping businesses, governments, even homeowners assess and mitigate climate-related risks.
So like pricing in climate change.
Pretty much. It includes the rapid development of climate-specific insurance products covering new types of risks and innovative investment strategies designed to account for future climate impacts. For you, the listener, this means climate risks could increasingly influence your investments, your insurance premiums, even property values. Making informed decisions about climate resilience becomes an economic imperative.
Yeah, that feels very real. Okay, finally, number 10.
Finally, number 10, quantum computing for climate modeling. Now, this is still in its early stages of practical application, but quantum computing holds immense potential to fundamentally enhance climate modeling and sustainability efforts.
How so?
Well, our current supercomputers actually struggle with the vast complexity and interconnectedness of global climate systems. Quantum algorithms, however, could dramatically improve the accuracy and speed of climate predictions, letting scientists model complex scenarios with unprecedented detail. It could also optimize resource management strategies, water distribution, energy grids, on a scale we can't even imagine right now.
So what's the fundamental difference quantum brings compared to classical computing?
The fundamental difference is its ability to process vast, complex data sets and simulate molecular and atomic interactions at a scale and speed that's just impossible for classical computers. This could unlock entirely new insights into climate systems, material science for new green technologies, maybe even breakthroughs in carbon capture or fusion energy. It's a long shot currently, but potentially revolutionary.
Wow, okay. That's quite a list.
Yeah. What's clear across all these trends is just the sheer scale of ambition. They're not just small fixes or isolated innovations. They're about fundamental, interconnected transformations of entire industries and systems, driven by that purposeful convergence of leading-edge technologies. The age of abundance, in this context, is really about providing solutions to our biggest planetary challenges. Hashtag tag tag outro.
So as we wrap up this really expansive deep dive, let's quickly recap the core threads we've kind of woven through today. We began with that powerful imperative to think big in this age of converging exponential technologies, AI as a multiplier alongside blockchain, quantum, symbio, all the others. Then we saw how this philosophy of grand ambition is manifesting in the radical transformation of our societal infrastructure. From a complete reimagining of social networks focusing on truth, trust, transformation to GovTech, fundamentally changing how governments operate and interact with citizens, even exporting state capacity to billions. And finally, we just delved into the incredible innovative strides being made in climate tech, showing how these same powerful technologies are tackling our planet's biggest environmental challenges with truly global solutions.
We really are talking about the potential for an age of abundance, aren't we? An era where humanity's grand challenges might not just be solvable, but where the tools actually exist to build a future of unprecedented possibility, all made possible by these converging advancements.
Yeah.
And it's not just about abstract tech. It's about reshaping our daily lives, empowering our communities, potentially healing our planet. It's about building a future where maybe truth, trust, and transformation aren't just ideals, but are woven into the very operating systems of our world, from how we're governed to how we interact socially to how we treat the environment.
And here's something maybe profound to ponder as you go about your day. Our sources mentioned right back at the start that, quote, the impending age of abundance was prophesied in the scriptures thousands of years ago. Now, given the exponential convergence of these technologies we've discussed, the collapsing barriers to building, the sheer scale of ambition now possible across every industry and societal challenge, could we genuinely, truly be witnessing the early stages of this long prophesied age?
It's a provocative thought.
An era where humanity, armed with these unprecedented tools, finally begins to solve its biggest problems and unlock its fullest potential. And maybe the final question for you, the listener, is, what role, big or small, might you play in shaping this potentially extraordinary future?